There was once a world so full of trouble that people had forgotten how to be kind to each other. They had forgotten how to be honest. They had even forgotten about God. But in all of that trouble, there was one man who still listened. His name was Noah. And what God was about to ask him to do would sound completely impossible. Welcome to the Living Word Bible Stories. Today, we are going back to a time long, long ago, to the story of a brave man, a giant boat, and the biggest rainstorm the world has ever seen. It is a story about doing the right thing when nobody else does, about waiting and trusting, and about a promise you can still see in the sky today. So get comfortable and let's begin. A long time after the very first people, the world had become a sad and difficult place. People were unkind to one another. They lied and they hurt each other, and hardly anyone thought about God at all. And when God looked at the world he had made so good, it made his heart very sad. But there was one man who was different. His name was Noah. Noah loved God, and he tried to do what was right, even when everyone around him did not. The Bible says that Noah walked with God, and because Noah listened, God chose to speak to him. One day, God spoke to Noah. He told him that because the world had become so full of trouble, he was going to send a great flood, so much water that it would cover the whole earth. But God was not going to leave Noah behind. He had a plan to keep him safe, and he gave Noah a job. It was an enormous one. God told Noah to build an ark. An ark is really just a very, very big boat. And this one had to be bigger than almost anything anyone had ever made. God told Noah exactly how to build it, right down to the last detail. It was to be longer than a football field and taller than a 3-story house. It had 3 whole floors inside, filled with rooms and stalls and spaces, and 1 great door in the side. Noah was to build it out of strong wood and cover it all over, inside and out, with sticky tar, so that not a single drop of water could ever get in. Why so big? Because this ark was not just for Noah. It was going to be a home and a safe place for his whole family and for animals of every kind you could ever imagine. God was already thinking about how to save them all. Now here is the surprising part. It was not even raining. The sky was clear and blue and dry. Building a giant boat on dry land, far away from any sea, must have looked like the strangest idea in the whole world. Noah's neighbors probably laughed at him. They probably asked him what on earth he thought he was doing. But Noah did not stop. He trusted God, so he picked up his tools and got to work. And this was not a job that took a few days or even a few weeks. Building the ark took Noah and his sons many, many years. That is a long time to work on something when nobody else believes in it. Year after year, they kept building. They cut the wood, they shaped it and joined it and sealed it. They worked when it was hot and when it was cold, when their arms were tired and when the whole thing seemed impossible. And all the while, the sky stayed clear and blue. Still, Noah kept going, 1 plank at a time because God had asked him to. He did not need to understand the whole plan. He just needed to trust the one who did. When the ark was finally finished, God told Noah it was time. And then something wonderful began to happen. The animals started to come. 2 of every kind of animal in the whole world came walking, crawling, hopping, and flying toward the ark. 2 lions with their golden manes, 2 great gray elephants swaying as they walked. 2 tiny mice and 2 tall giraffes, slow, plodding tortoises and quick little rabbits. Birds of every color, and buzzing insects, and creatures of every shape and size, all making their way toward the ark, 2 by 2 by 2.
Can you picture it?
The longest, strangest, most amazing parade of animals the world has ever seen, all walking calmly in the same direction, all heading for one enormous boat. Noah did not have to go and catch a single one of them. God brought them to him. Then Noah gathered his family. There was Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and their wives, 8 people in all. They filled the ark with food for everyone, enough to last a long, long time. And then, one by one, they all went inside. When every animal and every person was safely on board, God did something special. God himself closed the great door of the ark. Noah did not have to shut it. God shut it for them, sealing them safely inside. And then, for the very first time, Noah felt a drop of rain. It began to rain, not a gentle little shower, but rain like the world had never seen before. It rained and it rained and it rained. For 40 days and 40 nights, the water poured down from the sky. The rivers rose, the lakes grew wider. The water climbed higher and higher until even the tallest hills and the highest mountains slipped away beneath it. Everything outside the ark grew quiet and still, covered gently by the water. But inside the ark, Noah and his family and every single animal were safe and warm and dry. The great boat lifted up off the ground and began to float, gently rocking on the water, exactly the way God had said it would. All those years of building, all that hard work, all that trusting, and now it was carrying them safely above the flood. God had kept them safe just as he promised. Now, being safe did not mean life on the ark was easy. Just think about it for a moment. There were animals on every floor of every kind, and every single one of them was hungry. Somebody had to feed them all. Somebody had to bring them water. Somebody had to keep them calm, and yes, somebody had to clean up after them too. So every day Noah and his family worked. They carried food to the lions and the elephants and the little mice. They looked after the sick ones and the young ones. It was noisy and it was busy, and it probably did not always smell very nice. But day after day they kept going, taking care of every creature God had put in their hands. Noah was faithful in the big things, like building the ark, and he was faithful in the small things too, like feeding one hungry animal, and then the next, and then the next. Then came the part of the story that people often forget: the waiting. When the rain finally stopped, the ark did not simply land straight away. It floated on the water for a long, long time. Days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months. Imagine being inside that boat with all of those animals, unable to see any land at all, just water in every direction as far as you could look. It would have taken so much patience. But Noah did not panic, and he did not give up hope. He trusted that God still had a plan, and so he waited. Slowly, very slowly, the water began to go down, and after many months, the ark came to rest on the top of a mountain. Noah wanted to know whether the land was dry yet, so he opened a window and sent out a bird, a raven, to take a look. Then he sent out a dove. But the little dove could not find anywhere dry to land, so it flew straight back to the ark. Noah waited a whole week, and then he sent the dove out again. This time it came back carrying something in its beak, a fresh green olive leaf. A leaf. That meant plants were growing again somewhere out there. It meant the water was finally going away. Noah waited one more week and sent the dove out one last time, and this time it did not come back at all. The dove had found a new home. The land was dry. Then God spoke to Noah once more. He told him it was time to come out. So Noah opened the great door, and out they all came. His family stepped onto dry ground for the first time in over a year. And the animals came pouring out behind them, running and leaping and flying off into a brand new world, ready to fill it with life all over again. And the very first thing Noah did before anything else, was stop and say thank you to God for keeping them all safe. And then God made Noah a promise, a beautiful one. God promised that never again would he send a flood to cover the whole earth like that. And to seal that promise, he gave a gift, something Noah had never seen before in all his life. He placed a rainbow in the sky. All of those colors, stretching in a great arch from one side of the world to the other. God said that whenever a rainbow appears after the rain, it would be a reminder of his promise, forever. So the very next time you see a rainbow, remember this story. That rainbow is one of the oldest promises in the whole world, and God has kept it ever since. So what can we learn from the story of Noah and the ark? First, we learn about obedience. God asked Noah to do something enormous, something that did not make any sense at all to the people around him. But Noah trusted God, and he did it anyway. Sometimes the right thing to do is not the easy thing, and it is not the popular thing, but doing what God asks is always worth it in the end. Second, we learn about patience. Noah did not get to see the happy ending straight away. He built for years, and then he waited for months. Good things often take time, and trusting God means being patient, even when we cannot yet see what is coming next. And third, and this is a big one, we learn that God always keeps his promises. He kept Noah and his family safe exactly as he said he would. And he gave us the rainbow as a promise we can still see to this very day. God's word can always be trusted. Whatever he says, he will do. That is the story of Noah, a good man who listened and obeyed and waited, and a God who kept every single promise. If you enjoyed this story and you want to discover more, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to The Living Word Bible Stories so you never miss what comes next. There are so many more adventures waiting for us. We will see you in the next one.